as we got through these technical issues, and Tom Heil is going to host it here.
So good morning, everybody. I appreciate your patience. So again, as Jim Allen explained, my name's Tom Heil. I'm a volunteer mentor with the SCORE Columbus, Ohio chapter. This morning, we are co-hosting with the SCORE Ann Arbor, Michigan chapter and the Indianapolis, Indiana chapter and the Dayton, Ohio chapter. So we appreciate the help and support of the other SCORE chapters. This morning, our presenter will be John Ryan, and John is going to present how to write a marketing plan. So I posted down into the chat box, if you did not receive the documents that John was asking you to print out for today, I just basically cut and pasted the websites where you can go and pull those up. Also, just 3 reminders. Number 1, if you do have questions, please put those into the Q&A tab on your toolbar. When John finds a convenient time, he will basically go through and answer those questions that you've submitted. Step number 2, basically, there will be a questionnaire that you'll receive at the end of today's webinar, maybe later today or on Friday. We really appreciate if you take the time to complete the questionnaire, because it really helps us to try to build and improve upon our webinars. And step number 3, basically, copy of the PowerPoint slides and basically the copy of today's recording will be sent to you probably sometime on Friday. So without further ado, I'll let John basically take the stage. So go ahead, John.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Happy Halloween. It's trick or treat night here in Columbus, Ohio. So I hope everybody's got their candy and their costumes all squared away. Tom, I'm going to start clicking through my slides. If it's not coming through on the webinar, just holler at me if that's okay.
Will do. I see everything right now.
Okay, great. I'm not seeing it on my end, but that's not a big deal. All right. Again, my name is John Rind, and I am a volunteer SCORE mentor with the Columbus, Ohio chapter. I've been a SCORE mentor for about 5 years, and I've counseled over the last 5 years, hundreds of small business clients, and I also teach a lot of these workshops. Just by way of background, I've got about 30 years of experience working as director of marketing or head marketing person for large companies and small companies and ad agencies. So I've been around the block is what I like to say, and I have a BS in journalism from Ohio University. Go Bobcats. All right. Just a little background on SCORE itself. Some of you may or may not be familiar with SCORE. SCORE is the nation's largest network of volunteer expert business mentors. And I stress the word volunteers. Tom's a volunteer. I'm a volunteer. We're all volunteers. This is how we give back to our community, by sharing some of the things we've learned over our careers. SCORE's been around for about 50 years. There are some 300 chapters nationwide and about 10,000 volunteers. And we're all volunteers with one purpose, and that's to help you, the entrepreneur, the small business owner, succeed. We are funded through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration. So just a couple of housekeeping things, as Tom mentioned. Everyone who registered today should have received a copy of the marketing plan template. If not, check your spam folder, or again, you'll get a copy of all these slides tomorrow. There's some links there for the plan template. You can see those links. And again, everyone who will receive a copy of today's presentation. Tom said probably sometime tomorrow. In terms of agenda, it's going to be pretty short and sweet. I want to talk about some key marketing terms and concepts, and then I'm going to go through a marketing plan intro, and then we'll take a deeper dive into writing your marketing plan. We'll wrap up, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So a couple of things to keep in mind as we go through today's workshop regarding a marketing plan. A marketing plan it's not hard to write, but it'll take some time, right? It's not an hour-long venture or something that you can crank out, in an afternoon. It's going to take a little while to put some of these parts together and find the information that you need. There will be, again, it has lots of parts. Some parts may not fit your specific situation. Not a problem. If they don't fit your situation, skip them. Okay, just go ahead and skip them. And the last thing, if you already have a business plan written, there may be parts of the marketing plan that we'll go through today that seem to be duplicates of your business plan. Again, skip them. If they're duplicates, no reason to do it all twice. All right. Give me 1 second. Got a little hiccup on my computer. Okay. All right, let's talk about some key marketing concepts, just sort of kind of laying the groundwork for your marketing thinking and your marketing plan. One of the questions I always get asked is, well, what's the difference between marketing and selling? Well, marketing, my job when I was a marketing person is creating desire or demand, right? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. My advertising, my marketing, my public relations, whatever I'm doing is supposed to create a desire to buy. And mine, from a marketing standpoint, is a long-term focus. My marketing goal is to understand the customer needs, the wants, these perceptions, right? So selling is sort of the execution of the process. The selling is focused on the product, and it's a short-term focus, right? Selling is about closing the sale. All right. Next key concept here, let's talk about the marketing plan itself. A marketing plan is an internal document. This is not something that you're going to, publish on your website or on Twitter or anything like that. It's an internal document that outlines your strategy, right, for acquiring new customers, for communicate to your existing brand to your brand to existing customers, and to promote your brand. So this is an internal document that you're going to prepare. This is how you're going to market your business. Next important concept that we need to talk about is something called the customer journey. And the customer journey are all the steps customers go through in researching ways to solve a problem, right? And we all do this every single day, no matter what we're buying. We go through this process of thinking, gee, do I have a problem? And how bad is it? And do I really want to fix it? And that sort of thing. So you have to understand your customers and your customers' journey, right? So oftentimes I like to explain it as sort of an upside down pyramid. So the first step in the customer journey is learning, and then it's solving, and then it's comparing, and then it's purchasing, and then it's customer loyalty. So it kind of looks like this. So for each one of these stages, here's kind of what the customer concerns are. At the early stages, learning, I'm not sure if I have a problem. So again, let's say, so my laptop today is having some issues. So I wonder if I have a problem. I don't know. So the next step in the customer journey is trying to figure out how to solve it. Is it worth solving? And how do I solve my computer problem, my laptop issues? Or do I just let it go? I don't know. So I've learned, I've solved. The next step is comparing. Am I solving the problem the right way? Next step is help me make a purchase. So again, using my laptop scenario, I've decided I've got a laptop, it's got a problem, it's worth solving. Now, do I fix it or do I buy a new one? I decide I'm going to buy a new one, so I go to Best Buy and I say, hey, Best Buy, I think I might need a new laptop. What do you got? And then the last thing, again, using my Best Buy example, I want to get some sort of maybe a thank you note from Best Buy or some sort of communication from Best Buy saying thank you for being a customer. So the point being, here are the customer concerns, and what you have to do as a marketing person is match the customer concerns to your communications. And here's how you do that. At the top, again, you're not trying to sell me a laptop yet because I don't know that I need one. So at the learning stage, you need to communicate to customers, here's how experts define and solve the problem that you solve, like the problem the customers have. The next step, the solving stage, you say, here's the pros and cons of various solutions. Again, don't try and sell me something that I don't know that I need yet. You need to be you're the experts in your field. So position yourselves as experts, right? So the pros and cons of various solutions. And then at the comparing stage, well, here's how you differentiate your business versus competitors. Purchase stage, highly satisfied customers, communicate, maybe customer reviews, some of your key benefits, and at the end, thank them for their business. So again, in today's day and age with the internet, well, we can all do 90% of our purchase decisions online. 90% of our research is all online. By the time I come knocking on your door, I've already done all my homework, right? So you need to understand this concept of the customer journey. All right. Now, let's take a second. Let's talk about the marketing plan intro and an overview. A marketing plan, a written plan, turns your marketing into a planned investment rather than a hopeful risk. I've been, as I said, a SCORE mentor for a long time, and I can't tell you how many times my SCORE client might come to me and say, "Hey, I'm trying Facebook. Is that a good idea?" Well, I don't know. What's your marketing plan look like? Well, if they don't have a marketing plan, if they don't know where they're going, if they don't have a pathway, then I can't begin to answer their questions. So a written plan turns your marketing into a planned investment. The other thing is important to understand the difference between a business plan and a marketing plan. So what you see is sort of a broad outline of a business plan. Starts with the executive summary, company description, details about the products and services. Then you have a marketing plan, and you have operations plan, financial plan, and the management plan. So this is how the marketing plan fits into your overall business plan. It's one important part of your overall business plan, right? So the business plan focuses on the decisions pertaining to all the functional departments, marketing and operations and finance and management. Marketing focuses instead on the marketing activities. And again, it's an integral part of the business plan. All right. So today we're offering you 3 options for writing your marketing plan, right? So everybody should have received the SCORE marketing plan template. It's a Word document, right? And it's simply a fill in the blank. We ask a question, the template asks a question, you fill in the answer. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. This is my preferred method because again, I like sitting at my computer, my laptop, and writing things, and then I go away, and it's easy for me to come back and access a document that's on my computer. Another great free option, SCORE is offering a quick start marketing plan. It's online. And again, same kind of concept. The online tool asks a question, and you fill in an answer, right? So couldn't be simpler. And it's all stored online, and then at the end you can download it, I believe as a PDF or as a Word document. That's free option number 2. Free option number 3, the Columbus Public Library offers a free tool called the Business Plan Builder, and that's we'll talk a little bit more about accessing the Columbus Public Library, or any public library, but it's a great free tool that you can use to not only build the marketing plan, but also start working on your overall business plan. So those are 3 free options. So all sorts of stuff that you can do. All right, so let's get started. And I'm going to today be going through the Word document template. So as you said, hopefully you all saw the cover note. It might be helpful if you have printed out the marketing plan templates. You can kind of look at it as you go along. It's not mandatory, it's not necessary, but it might be helpful as we go along. All right. So the first part of the marketing plan is simple enough. It's description of your company background, company name, your date established, how many employees, who's the subject matter expert. In most cases, it's you, but maybe you have a partner or somebody who's a subject matter expert. Who are the key personnel? So here's a great question on the marketing plan overview. Describe the reasons your business can succeed. All right, that takes a little bit of thinking. All right, business structure. Here's where you can outline your relevant business experience and also your sales and revenue history. So you've just completed part one of the marketing plan, and that's pretty straightforward, not a big deal. Now, let's talk about the product and service overview. Again, this is question and answer stuff in this Word document. Describe your product or service. Briefly describe your features. Briefly describe your benefits. Explain your pricing structure. Describe how products will be sold. Right? Are you going to be knocking on doors yourself? You're going to hire a salesperson? Is it going to be available online at your website? It's going to be a combination of all those. Describe how your products will be sold. And then briefly describe what people like about your product. Simple enough. Let's take a little deeper dive into this thing about features and benefits, because this is really important from a marketing standpoint. So features are defined as statements about your product, such as what it can do, its dimensions, its specs. Benefits, on the other hand, show the end result of what a product can accomplish. So forgive me, I know this is an ancient, archaic example, but when the iPod first came out, brand new product category. Nobody had ever, right, put all their stuff in one place. Back then, we walked around with, portable CDs or portable cassette tape players, and it was a horrible thing. So imagine if Apple had introduced this thing and said, well, it's storage it includes 1 gigabyte of all your MP3s. Well, if they had marketed from that standpoint, nobody would have known what a gigabyte was. Nobody knew what the heck an MP3 was. So they would have been talking spec talk. People would have understood what they're talking about. But instead, they cleverly marketed as this device allows you to carry 1,000 songs in your pocket. Right? And it's funny now because now we have 10 million songs in our phones or access to it. But again, go back 20 years. This is brilliant marketing. So this is the difference between talking about features and benefits. So here's just I put together sort of a chart trying to emphasize the point of features versus benefits. So if you've got a feature and you try to figure out what the benefit is, ask yourself, so what? Right? If it's custom made, so what? Same day shipping, so what's the big deal? Quad lithium battery, right? Who cares? So what? So what you need to do is make sure when you're talking to your customers, talk in the language of benefits, not necessarily features, because chances are they may not understand what the heck a gigabyte or a megabyte or an MP3 is, right? So features versus benefits. But the big key point here is, again, don't make customers try and figure out your benefits. Because guess what? Customers won't. They won't bother. I'm not going to take the time to, wade through all your spec talk and gobbledygook to try and figure out what's in it for me. You have to remember that we are all very selfish consumers, and we're all in a hurry. So if I go to your website and I can't figure out what the benefit is to me, I'm leaving. All right. So again, don't make your customers try and figure out your benefits. All right. The third section of the marketing plan is the marketing and industry analysis. So again, a lot of this is kind of simple, fill in the blank sort of stuff. So what market or industry segment do you serve? And one quick way to figure that out is click that link. There's something called the NAICS, and you figure out how the NAICS is a government entity, and you figure out how the government classifies your business segment. right? And this is important to know as you begin to fill in the next, some of the other things like what's going on in your industry segment. So you need to understand what segment you're in and what's going on in that industry segment. Next is market area. What area do you serve? Are you local, state, regional, US? You've got to try and sell international. A lot of my SCORE clients, again, I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, a lot of my SCORE clients are in Central Ohio or Columbus or even very specific zip codes. Right. So market size, what is the estimated market size? Now that's interesting. How do you figure that out? Well, again, if you know your NAICS code, you begin to figure out, you can click on there and you figure out what industry you're in, and you can begin to back into what the market size is. Again, if I'm in Columbus, Ohio, I know how many people live in Columbus, Ohio. I can figure that out real easily. Or if I'm marketing in my own zip code, I can easily figure out how many people live in that specific zip code. And again, finally, market potential. So what is the growth potential of your market? Now, you're all going into business to try and to grow a business, right? So what's the market potential? Is it growing? Is it flat or is it shrinking? Again, these are the things you need to spell out in your market analysis section of the marketing plan. So again, industry segment research, this is a screenshot of the NAIS section. If you look at the arrow, all you have to do really is enter a keyword and it'll pop up your specific industry code. And once you have the industry code, right, then you can Google something like, let's say your industry code is 12345. Just Google 12345 industry and see what pops up. Okay, real simple, basic stuff. Doesn't take a lot of time to figure out do some industry segment research. Here's some additional links that you can click on to begin researching your specific market segment. Right. So there's a lot of free tools, a lot of free resources that are out there to help you do some very basic market research. And one of the questions I always get asked at this point is, well, John, how much market research do we need? How much information do I need? Well, it kind of depends on your business type. If you're opening up a pizza shop, you don't really need a whole ton of research to tell you that pizza is pretty popular. People like pizza, right? So you don't need a whole lot of research on that. But if you're introducing a new product or a new product to an audience, then you might want to know a little bit more about the industry and what's going on. All right. So again, there's a lot of free resources out there, but we found at SCORE that one of your probably number one free research tool is your public library. I know we have folks from other markets, but it's the same thing whether you're in Columbus or Dayton or Indianapolis or whatever. You have a really good free resource at your fingertips, right? And that's your local library. This is a snapshot of our of our Columbus library, but you go there once you have a card, a free library card. You can go into your account and you click on the research tab at the top and follow the arrow at the bottom. You click on business, and lo and behold, there is tons and tons of stuff that you can access. Again, here's here's a list of of all the possible. There are 22 different research categories, research topics, research areas that you can dive into. Again, if you want to get really deep into your industry research, it's all free. And for the industry segment, one of the things I love is number 14 there, which is emergent intellect. It's a great, again, free resource there that can give you a lot of insight into your specific industry. All right. The next section, section 4, is here's where we start to dive into some of one of the most important parts of your marketing plan, and that's your target audience profile. In today's day and age, if you're going to spend time and energy marketing, you need to know who you're marketing to, right? You need to have a full understanding of who your customers are. So in this case, what we're doing is trying to figure out who our customers are. So The first part, describe your ideal customer. And for most of you, you're probably going to have more than one type of customer. So for each one of your customers, customer segments, describe the ideal customer. All right, customer 1, customer 2, customer 3. Who are they? Describe them. Then let's get into some of the demographics. Right? Gender. Oops, right. Gender. Gender, age, education level, income level, right? Purchase factors is another really important thing. You know, you've got the demographics. How about the psychographics? You know, what do they need? What do they desire? What are the biggest challenges? And purchase factors is another really important thing to understand about your customers. What's their motivation for buying? Silly example, if I'm selling snow shovels, motivation for buying, well, there's a snowstorm, right? Right. And then also, who might influence their purchase decision? Family members, mom, dad, customer reviews. You know, what might influence their purchase decisions? How do you solve their problems? Again, you're going to fill this out for each one of their your customer segments. You know, how will your customers find you? How will you find them? Your customers currently buy something similar to what you're selling, right? So the most important takeaway, I think, for this part of the marketing plan is you really need to nail this section. You have to know your customers if you want to succeed in marketing. And this is especially true in social media. I think every one of my SCORE clients I've talked to over the last several years has said, John, I want to use social media. I want to use Facebook. I want to use Twitter. And those are great tactics. But if you don't know everything you need to know about your customers, you will more than likely fail in your social media efforts, because you'll be sending out messages and information to people who you miss the target. So you need to fully understand your target audience, who your customers are, what they want, what they need, and what they look like. Again, going back to our friends at the public library, there's a great area called the Demographics Now. Click on that link and you get all sorts of demographics for potential audiences. And also, you can dig into something called Mosaic through Demographics Now. And they have great profiles of target audiences. So the information is out there. You got to dig around just a little bit. Again, other public places you can go to get some general information on completing your customer profiles. And again, just a quick tip, one of the things I like to do, again, is Google. Again, I'm in zip code 43026. So I can easily Google 43026 and in a split second get a fair amount of demographic information on my particular zip code. Okay. But the bottom line also is this: probably the best way to do customer research is to talk to your customers. It really is. And I realize for a lot of my SCORE clients, they don't like to do that quite yet. Some of them aren't quite open for business, and they're still kind of kicking around their idea. But do a focus group with some potential customers and talk to them. See what their wants, their needs, their pains are. See what they like about your particular product category. You know, things they don't like about your particular product category. So at some point, you got to get out of your pajamas, right, and go out and talk to your customers. All right, the next section of the marketing plan is called the competitive landscape. Real simple. Who do you compete with? Yeah, what do they have that you don't? And what do you have that they don't? And I can almost guarantee that every one of you is going to have, you know, a competitor of some sort. So who are they? What do they have? And what do you have that's better? Important information to know, especially as you begin to craft some of your marketing messages. Right? So what do you have that nobody else has is one of your key messages for your marketing stuff. So something I like to do, offer to some of my SCORE clients when we get into the competitive landscape, is I suggest they put together a little chart that looks something like this. So the first step in crafting your competitive landscape chart is identifying the top 3 to 5 purchase factors that are important to customers. So again, if I go back to my goofy laptop example, what are the most important things I look for in a laptop? And again, I don't know, maybe it's, price, maybe it's memory, maybe it's, I don't know. But what are the 3 to 5 purchase factors that are important to your customers? Again, the chart that you see here, I just rattle off a list of 10 or 15 possible ones. They may or may not be applicable to your particular business. But so first step is identify the top 3 to 5 purchase factors that are important to your business. So let's say that I've done that and I figured out that what's most important in my goofy example here are customer reviews. It's the number one thing my customers care about. Quality, number 2, selection 3, price 4, and service 5. So how will I figure that out? Well, I've got to go talk to my customers, right? So I've got to prioritize these factors based on the importance to customers. Okay. And then the next step is to figure out where you stand versus your competitors. Again, in this example, let's look at customer reviews for a second. Let's say that you're just starting your business. And customer reviews is the number one most important thing to your potential customers. Well, right now, your business has no customer reviews. So you better say, well, holy smokes, I better be jumping on that because my competitors have, they do pretty well on that. So first thing you want to work on is your customer reviews. Again, next thing is important to customers is quality. Well, you think you do a pretty darn good job at quality, but your competitors don't. So you've got a really big competitive advantage. Anyway, so you can see how this works. So you need to figure out in your competitive landscape chart here is where you stand versus your competitors. Now, again, this is going to take a little bit of work, some time and effort, but it's a really good, real good way to figure out where you stand and begin to craft some of your marketing messages. Next thing I want to talk about is section 6, which is the SWOT analysis. And SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is a really, really important section for you to put together to think about as you begin to figure out, well, what do I do well? What do I not do well? What are the big opportunities out there for my business? And what are some of the threats, things that might pop up that might impact my business? So in the template, we have a SWOT analysis that looks like this. So you simply fill out in each section, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, right? And if you notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's links that you can click on for additional help on completing your SWOT analysis. So let's kind of go through the step-by-step. Strengths. What advantages do you have? I don't know. Experience. Maybe you have a degree or advanced training, 20 years of experience or expertise, maybe location. I don't know, technology. Maybe you partnered with somebody that's a big advantage. What are the things what are your business strengths? What do you do well? What relevant resources do you have access to? Again, maybe you have access to unlimited finances. I don't know. That's silly. Maybe you have a great credit rating. You have access to a line of credit. I don't know. What do other people see as your strengths? So again, this is an internal document. So don't, you don't have to be modest, but be realistic, right? So what are your strengths? Conversely, what are your weaknesses? What could you improve? What do you do badly? What should you avoid? Maybe there's a skill or experience that you lack. And again, in this case, be honest and be realistic. Opportunities. You're all entrepreneurs, and you're getting into this because you think there's an opportunity out there for you to succeed. So explain what is the opportunity about? Is there an increased market demand for your particular product? Or is the industry growing? Can you enter a new bilingual market? I don't know. Or as the economy improves or the political improvement, political market changes, maybe that offers a new opportunity for you. Maybe you've got a new product. Maybe you're getting ready to merge or you want to merge. Right? So what are the opportunities that exist out there that you get excited about, that you think will help you succeed? And then conversely, what are the threats? You know, maybe government regulation is going to pop up suddenly and it's going to have an impact on your business, or a political environment changes, or you know, your partner, your key employee leaves, or your patent runs out, or a new competitor jumps in the market, right? So what are the things that might pop up that might be a threat to your business? So again, this is a really, really good planning exercise to go through, the SWOT analysis. Okay. Now, section 7 is probably, outside of knowing your audience, is I think probably the most important section of your marketing plan. And this is goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. Goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. It's a linear process. Step 1, goals. Step 2, objectives. Step 3, strategies. Step 4, tactics. And you don't talk about tactics until you've done strategies and you've done objectives, right? So goals, objectives, strategies, tactics. It's a linear process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay. So I like to visualize my goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics section as sort of an org chart. Right here we got the president at the top and a couple of VPs and then managers. So I like to visualize my goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics as sort of an org chart kind of thing. So it looks like this. At the top, I've got my business goal. And in this case, I've got one objective. And underneath that objective, I've got a couple of strategies. And underneath each strategy, I've got a couple of tactics. And by doing it this way, I can make sure that each tactic, right, Facebook, running ads in the newspaper, radio commercials, whatever, right, each tactic is helping me handle my strategy, which is achieving my objective. Right? That's why this linear process is so important. Okay. So everything here, strategy and the tactic, has one thing, and it's intended to achieve the objective. All right. So let's talk about setting your goal. And I like, for the marketing plan, is try and create a short-term goal, maybe 1 year out, right? So what is your short-term goal? And ideally, I'm going to ask you to do maybe one. Maybe it's launch your business or increase market share, right? So what is your short-term goal for your particular business, right? Grow your customer database. I don't know, whatever it is, but what is your short-term goal? And once you have your goal, we'll talk about setting an objective. And an objective statement must clearly indicate what is to be achieved, by how much, and by when. So your objectives have to be very specific. Objectives oftentimes start with an action verb: achieve, acquire, attain, consolidate. Right? Then you have to include a term of measurement: by how much, by how many. And the last thing in crafting your objectives is by when. So, sorry. So here are just some examples I put together. So if one of your objectives is to increase revenue, by how much? By 10% by December 1st. That's a very good, specific, measurable objective. Or decrease expenses, or finishing my website. It could be for a lot of my SCORE clients, that's a really good one. They want to be finished their websites by 100% by March 1st. Or an objective might be, if you're going to go after some social media things, maybe you want to increase Facebook followers. Maybe you decided that Facebook is your one and only, media tactic, and that's great, right? Or get more leads. Well, just saying my objective is to get more leads doesn't tell me anything. But if you say, I want to grow 5 new leads every month for the next 10 months, and I want to achieve that by the second quarter. So again, objectives need to be very specific, starting with an action verb, by how much, and by when. I'm not going to go through this slide. You can go through it on your own time. But again, I put together some examples of pretty specific objectives based on increased revenue, or customer service, or efficiency, or increasing your brand profile. So you're welcome to beg, borrow, and steal any of these, modify them to fit your needs. But again, they must be very specific. What are you going to do? By when? By how much? The next part, okay, we got goals, we have objectives, strategies is the next one. So strategies explain how you're going to achieve your marketing objectives. Okay. So again, strategies oftentimes start with an action verb. And here's a long list that you can beg, borrow, and steal to begin to craft your marketing plan strategies. Strategy examples. So again, if one of your objectives was to build the brand, build brand awareness and product awareness, or establish your brand. Or if you're, if you've built your website and one of your objectives is to increase website traffic, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to attract more website traffic? You need to attract more traffic, convert more site visitors to leads. You can see where we're going with this. These are just examples, again, that you can use to begin to craft your strategies. I like to think of it as how will we get there as a strategy template. And this is a nice way you can back into your strategy. We will achieve the objective if we do what? Right? We will achieve the objective if we build the brand and generate more leads, right? Convert more customers to sales, right? That's a really simple way to back into your strategies. And the last part is the easy part, Frank, and that's tactics. What tactics are you going to use to implement each strategy? And this is just a short laundry list of dozens of traditional marketing tactics and digital marketing tactics. All the things that you can do to begin to get people to learn about your business. Now, obviously, you can't do all these things. Nobody can, because we have factors of money and factors of time. But what tactics are you going to use to implement your strategies to hit your objective to reach your goal? Right. And again, there's all sorts of simple, free things or inexpensive things that you can do, even as a small business owner, that work really, really well. Here's a long list of, number 16, door-to-door mailbox hangers. If you're a local business, they've worked for 100 years and they'll continue working. It's a great way to begin to get your name out there. Right? Okay. But here's a quick tip. The most effective inbound marketing tactics is still, word of mouth or emailing to your own customer list. So, everybody globs onto social media, and social media is great. It takes a lot of time and energy, but some of these things might be more beneficial for you. These are the ones that are the most effective inbound tactics is, word of mouth. All right, so just the goals, objectives, strategies, tactics section can be a little confusing. So I put together just a couple of quick examples. So let's say I own a local digital marketing company, and my goal is to, right now I don't have I'm just doing it on a freelance basis. I'm employed, but I'm kind of doing freelance stuff on the side. So I've said my goal is once freelance sales hit $65,000, I'm going to quit my current job and open my marketing company full time. Yay me. Right? So how am I going to hit that $65,000 goal? Well, my objective in this case, I've got to increase revenue 15% by the end of this year. That's my objective. It's specific, it's measurable, and it's time sensitive, right? So increased revenue 15% by the end of the year. So how can I do that? My strategy, I've got to get more better quality leads. Okay. So what tactics am I going to use to do that? I'm going to test Facebook ads. I'm going to try holding a local event, and I'm going to put a little chat bot on my website. So the local events and the chat box are free. The Facebook ads are going to cost me some money. So as I test my Facebook ads, if I discover that I'm not getting too many new quality leads from Facebook ads, guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do Facebook. I'm going to do something else, right? So here's one example of goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics for a local digital marketing company, right? And I also might have a second strategy. So once I get these leads, strategy number 2 is I've got to figure out how to get more leads to sales. And how am I going to do that? Once I've got these leads and I got the customer information, I'm going to put together an email campaign in terms of a tactic. And I'm also going to build a how-to library, video library on my website that I can send people to once I've got their contact information. Once they know they're a lead, I can send them to these videos that'll hopefully convert them to sales. Another example is a personal trainer. I've had over the years a lot of personal trainer SCORE clients. So oftentimes when they first start out, their goal is to break even by the end of the year. They realize, the first year they're not going to make money, but if they can just break even the first year, the second year holds a lot of potential. So their objective, in this case, is 15 ongoing customers per week by Q3. That's an objective. So strategy, this personal trainer has to gain as much brand exposure locally as possible. How are they going to get that brand exposure? They're going to launch a new website. They're going to test Instagram, and they're going to engage potential clients at local events. Second strategy, or objective, is to move out of right now. Let's say they share a gym, with Planet Fitness or somebody else. They want to move out of that and find their own space. So the strategy is to find a centrally located facility, and the tactic might be to hire a real estate agent to help them find that. Third objective in this example, is to earn $10,000 from new customers. They're also going to be implementing a new online video training channel. So they're hoping to get subscribers to that paid video training channel. So the objective, is to earn $10,000 from that. What strategies do they have to implement? They need to create videos, and they need to promote the videos. How are they going to promote the videos? They're going to build a landing page, and again, they're going to test Instagram and Facebook ads. Again, this is just another example of the ghost. Again, same thing here. Here's another example using a pop-up jewelry store. You can see the goals, the objective, the strategy, and the tactics. So again, you can see why I kind of like to think of these things in terms of an org chart. Okay. Tom, are there any questions on this part so far?
There's one question, John, and it was a while back. Marcia was asking, already answered. So Kelly asked, is the plan overview section what should go in the sales/revenue history section? This was way back at the beginning.
Yes, section 1, the first part includes just a brief sales and revenue history. Yes, and that goes in the first part.
Thank you.
Yep, okay. Now we're getting to the end. All right, section 8 is the budget, calendar, and metrics. And everybody, in addition to the Word document, plan template document, also should have received a Excel spreadsheet template that you can use to create this part of the marketing plan. So again, first step in this is that you have to be honest with yourself and determine how much time and money you can allocate to marketing. And again, if you kind of think back to that broad outline of the business plan, you know, you're not only the marketing person, you're the operations person, you're the financial person, you're the business owner. You got all these hats that you have to wear. So realistically, how much time and money can you allocate to marketing? Again, here's a spreadsheet that we sent you that you can fill in the blank if you want. You know, what's your marketing budget in each category? We all know how to put together a budget spreadsheet. It's pretty straightforward. So this is just a template that you can use to create your budget. Same thing with a calendar. If you're going to be doing marketing, I would strongly urge you to begin to put together a calendar so you can see when and where stuff is going to be happening. It's a really good tool just to kind of make sure that you're doing something, you know, as much as you can all the time. Given time, given your resources. Metrics. Most everything in today's marketing world is measurable, especially digital tactics. You know, as the old expression goes, you know, you can't manage what you can't measure. I'm going to hope everybody out there has a website. And hopefully you have something like Google Analytics hooked up to your website so you can track website traffic, so you can track where people are coming from. Again, critical basic marketing metrics. For every point 3, for every marketing tactic you plan on using, define how you're going to track results. No matter what tactic you do, you're going to be allocating time and money to do this. You want to make sure that it's working. Well, how are you going to know that it's working? How are you going to know that your social media efforts are working, or your Facebook ads are working, or the door hangers that you dropped off all around your neighborhood? How do you know they're going to work, right? And again, for marketing measurement, I urge you to really start simple. Just track your website traffic. Track your email, how many email addresses you have in your customer database, and start things like customer reviews. And this is just some simple, quick tips on what you can measure for website traffic. Again, I mentioned Google Analytics. If you're going to do email marketing, and I love email marketing, you want to track things like the open rate and conversion rates. Online ads, what's the click rate, what's conversion rate, what's sales, right? You can see how this goes. So again, the point here is track everything that you're doing. You want to measure it because you want to know if you're getting the most bang for your buck. All right, so I got a couple more minutes, wrap it up. You can do this. I've done this, have done this webinar a bunch of times, and at the end, I always get a lot of kind of deer in the headlight looks from my people in the audience because they go, well, John, this is overwhelming. Don't let it overwhelm you. Take it a step at a time. Take it a chunk of the plan at a time, realizing it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. But again, you can do this. Make your marketing plan as complete as you need it to be. Again, a lot of you don't need tons of market research or industry research, right? So make it as complete as you need to be. This is your marketing plan. Again, master your target audience. It's probably, you got to know who your audience is, what they want, and what they need. Again, talking about metrics, ready, aim, fire, measure, and reload. If something isn't working, scratch it and do something else. Or if something isn't working, try and figure out why it's not working. You know, if Facebook ads, for example, aren't working, you have to ask yourself, why? Is it because Facebook ads don't work? No, they do. Maybe the offer in your Facebook ad isn't good enough to attract people. I don't know. But make sure that whatever you're doing, you're looking at it and trying to figure out why it's working or why it's not working. And the last point is SCORE is here to help. This is what we do. We volunteer our time and effort to help you succeed. Oftentimes, it's hard to start with a blank page for your marketing plan. So here are a whole ton of example marketing plans in different categories. Now, one caveat, I've looked at several of these marketing plans. These are free online ones. Honestly, they're not particularly good, but they might help you out just a little bit, give you some thought starters. So there's a whole bunch of places you can go to check out a couple of marketing plans. Here's some links that you can follow for more information on writing a marketing plan. The links that you can click on. Again, SCORE also has a great step-by-step how-to guide for starting a business. If you've not seen this, check this out. If you're still in the process of kind of starting your business, it's really, really good. Again, free resource out there for your taking. And SCORE also has a vast library full of information, free information in what, 15 different categories. And as you look at each category, the number in red in parentheses are the number of articles, videos, webinars, whatever, on each one of those topics, right? So number 10, tax planning. There are 59 articles dealing with tax planning. So there's a lot of free information on the SCORE website. So please click it, check it out. All right. We're offering a few upcoming workshops I thought you might be interested in. You can click on these links to follow up. Special note, there's a really good 3-part series on November 5, 12, and 19 on social media. And the presenter is a very, very knowledgeable expert in social media. So if you want to, you notice the November 5 one is you know, at 201 level, then 202 level, and on the 19th is 203. So each week it gets a little more advanced and more advanced and more advanced. So I urge you to take advantage of those workshops. All right. Tom, I'm opening things up for the Q&A.
You have 3 questions so far, John. The first question is, after you get your website completed, how do you get it out to the public eye, aside from sending it to all your email or phone contacts or on your flyers and brochures?
Sure. Great question. And it's it's not a complicated answer. There's tons of stuff that you can do. So step 1, I would always do is it's called search engine optimization. And you can go ahead and Google that and begin to think about your website. And you want to make sure that Google can find your website. Google and Bing and the search engines can find your website. So you can register your website with Google. Second thing is you want to make sure that your website includes keywords and key phrases. So if your website, if you have a pizza shop and your website is all about pizza, you want to make sure that the word pizza is in your headlines. Why? Because when people search for pizza shop near me, Google wants to send them the best possible answer. And unless Google knows that you're a pizza shop, you will not get listed. So there's a lot of ways that you can tactics you can use to get your website out there. That's a whole another workshop. But again, start with your website, start with search engine optimization, And again, like you said, make sure that your website address is on all your emails, is on your phone contacts, is on everything. Okay. Where can I find the free marketing plan is the next question. I think I answered that. Again, you'll be getting all these links, a copy of this presentation tomorrow, so you can click on any one of those links to look at the free marketing plan samples. And Marcia, if I didn't answer your question, I hope I did. All right, next question. For a new small business, how do you come up with an estimate of dollar needed for marketing? Yeah, that's the age-old question. Back when I was working for the large Fortune 500 companies, marketing spend was oftentimes based on the percentage of revenue. So, for example, I'll use, if the revenue goal for a company was $100, I often would get 3 to 5% of that to spend on my marketing. So, but that varies by company, that varies by industry, and it varies by how aggressive you want to be, right? So there is no right or wrong answer. If you decide that you can spend, if you're a brand new company, you're probably going to have to spend a little bit more in year one marketing, right? Because you simply have to get your word out there, as opposed to a company that's been around for a long time and is well established. So I know that's kind of a wishy-washy answer. There is no right answer. It's whatever you can afford. But again, bear in mind that it's not only money, but it's also your time, right? So social media, for example, takes a lot of time and effort. It's free, doesn't cost you anything for the most part, but it takes a lot of time and effort. All right. Okay.
You have two more questions in there.
Yep. The question is marketing locally. Again, that's a whole topic for a whole another workshop that I put together called local marketing. There's so many things that you can do locally, but start with Google My Business. I want you to look up Google My Business and learn about Google My Business. Sign up for Google My Business, because if you sign up for Google My Business, that allows customers to review you on Google. And therefore, once, again, I'll use that pizza shop example. So if I've got pizza shop near me and up pops your pizza company, and I see that your pizza shop has 5, great 10 reviews, and they're all 5-star reviews, and the next pizza shop that pops up only has no reviews, and the next one has 1 review and it's 1 star, which one am I going to choose? So one of the very first things you can do to promote your business locally is Google My Business. So I'm looking at sweat absorbing towels. That's all great. So again, you want to make sure that you have, again, the next step would be for the local is search engine optimization. You want to make sure that your website screams sweat absorbing accessories and cooling towels. You want to make sure that when I search for cooling towels near me, or why would I need a cooling towel, your site pops up. Okay. Where do we go to get government funding for our startup business? All right, and guess what? We have an upcoming workshop. Didn't I list that one on there? I guess I may not have.
Hey, John, we did that one last night. John, we did that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that was for if you want to do government contracting. But what I would suggest to this person is that, number one, they get with their local SCORE chapter and request a mentor, and then that mentor, can help them through, what programs are available in their area. I know here in Columbus, we can go to like a small business development center or the SBA, or we have a thing called ECDI, which is an economic development center too. So there's many places to go that they could find and work with them to get funding. So
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Couple of other
Next
questions.
question from,
Go ahead.
I can see the question, Tom. Thank you. Next question from Rami. What are the creative ways to reach out to local businesses? Most of them show no interest in meeting. So I'm going to assume that you've got something to offer, your product or service to local business owners, and you may be knocked on a few doors and they haven't been opened for you. So again, we're all selfish consumers. So what's in it for me? Why would I want to meet with you, Rami? What have you got? And if the answer is, well, I can save you money, as a small business owner, we get that pitch every day. Everybody's out there saying the same thing. So you've got to figure out something that you can offer these local business owners, right, to get them to agree to meet with you. Maybe you can offer them something. Maybe it's again, people love videos, so maybe it's a video. Again, I don't know what your business category is, Rami, but maybe it's a how-to video, not just a video promoting your company. Because right now, if I'm a local business owner, I don't know who you are or what you offer, and I'm not going to take the time to watch your sales pitch video. But if you can offer something helpful that's useful to me, the local business owner, whether it's an article, a podcast, a video, something that's going to pique my interest enough to pick up the phone and call you, or when you call me, say, oh yeah, I saw your video, sure, let's meet. You know, it's a dating process, Rami. You've got to, you can't go up to a crowd, I'm a guy, a bar full of people and say, hey, can I get your phone number? And hey, let's go out for dinner, because they're going to say no. So you have to think of it as a dating process. What's the very first step in that dating process? And you've got to pique their interest with something other than the standard business pitch of, I'm going to save you money, I can save you time, whatever it is. So think again, the business owner is a selfish consumer. What's in it for me? What have you got that's different? Okay. Next question from James. How much time should we spend on marketing if I were a new business? Again, it's an impossible question to answer, but I don't want to say as much as you need, but probably a good amount. Again, I don't know if there's 40 hours in the work week, for your new business, I'm going to suggest you probably need to spend a considerable amount of time on marketing, assuming your operations are good, right? The business management is good. You've got the finances all figured out. So you got, think in terms of the business plan, you got the operations figured out, financial part figured out, you got your management thing figured out. You maybe hopefully you got your website. Well, then now you need to begin to promote your business. So I don't have a specific number or answer for you, James, other than I'm going to suggest a good chunk of your time needs to go to marketing your business. All right, Julie from Mental Health Therapy Group, we are ethically not allowed for review. Okay. I'm just thinking about your question, Julie. Just give me a second. All right. So if you're not allowed reviews, that's not the end of the world, right? Is there another way to get out there, get your reviews out there? Well, I don't know if you can put in your. Oh gosh, we have a lot of senior disability. Julie, I'm not sure. Are you trying to get around reviews, or trying to get reviews that you can actually use? If you're Julie, I'm sorry, I don't have a great answer to your question. If you have, let me think about it. So if you have reviews that but you just can't put them online, again, could you put them? Could you do a video testimonial of some of your clients, or would your clients agree to put something in on your Facebook page? I'm not sure that's a great answer, Julie. I'm sorry, I can't give you another one. Next question from Simone is there an intro workshop for social media tips? I see Jim Allen is typing away. I don't know the upcoming social media 201 workshop. I don't know if that will or won't be too advanced. I think there might be links out there to an initial intro to social media workshop that you might be able to look at, Simone.
John,
Okay.
Michelle Hummel did do a whole series on a 101 and a 102 social media. I don't know if those are saved on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tom. I'm not sure either. So Simone, go back to go to the Columbus Score website and see if you can find a link to a social media 101 workshop put on by Michelle Hummel. It's very, very good workshop.
Yeah, she's the CEO of Web Strategies out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right, Tom. I think I'm sure you want to talk about the survey.
So yes. So again, John, thank you very much for the excellent presentation today. And also thank you to Indianapolis Score, as well as Ann Arbor and Dayton for your help to host today's webinar with John. So later today or tomorrow, please take your time to read and answer the questionnaire that we will email out to you. It really helps us to improve, our webinars in the future. And also just a reminder, tomorrow sometime you will receive a copy of John's PowerPoint slides, as well as a copy of today's recording. And we thank everybody for your attendance today. We appreciate it. Thanks, John. Thanks, Jim, for your help too.